Are we doing? All right. Are we doing this? We doing this? Live? All right. Testing. Recycling. We don't do that. I mean, I wish we did. Oh God, that's on tape. Cool. Yeah, we totally recycle. We'll fix it in post. Yeah. You can just airbrush that out. Just watching them over there. So it's time for demos. Is everyone ready? You look like you're ready back there. Doing it live. I like it. No. If we preface that, yes. All right, so who would like to demo first? I could go, but I'm running the event, so I'd like to give that chance to somebody else instead of just stealing it myself. Mo, calm down. How much candy have you had, Mo? Someone cut him off. You'll go next? You're going to have to act it out. Does it have DVI? It doesn't have anything? Is it a real computer? You going? All right. Our first demo.
Unfortunately, we're not going to give you a whole lot of time because it's pretty, it's pretty compact. But
okay, so
oh, this is
you had to do a mic, didn't
there
you?
was a,
It's a small room, but you had to do a mic. Damn it. Yeah.
Can I have that connected?
I don't want to hold it. No, because then it's like it's me. No, because then I can't move out of the way. I have to stand here still. So I'm just gonna keep it here. I like it. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just go around with it, and you guys can present from where you are. All right. So while he gets that set up, I can tell you a little about the game. If you're familiar with like party streaming games or like taking like the tabletop format has kind of gotten more popularized, and it's kind of branched over. Party games have kind of gone to the digital format. If you're familiar with games like made by like Jackbox, they make. Yeah. You hit mute and you hit mute and it's still going.
Is there a way to turn the volume down that's not through here?
You've reached the limit of my understanding.
It's like off here.
Yeah. Well, now the mic is helpful because I have to talk over my own game. Okay, so it's whoever goes next. This mic's gonna be nice and warm from my breath. Okay, so the name of the game is Mistrial, right? It's an interpretive evidence game. You play as the game consists of 4 players, one being the jury. The other three players, one being the judge, the other three players are the jury, and you screwed up the case files. So what you need to do is you need to recreate them with the evidence that you have, so that the judge can interpret, the crime that's taken place. There's essentially like cards that are drawn, right? So cards are drawn to be combined to make these kind of wacky, zany, like Cards Against Humanity feeling sort of scenarios of a crime and a detail of the crime, whether it be in something used or a person that committed it. And you, as a jury member, you're given these details, and now you need to recreate the case file by drawing it. So how it works is the jury, consisting of 3 players, will cycle through a round, taking turns, collaborative effort into drawing whatever these wacky, zany cards come up. So player 1 draws a little bit for 15 seconds, player 2, another 15 seconds, and we have it set up for 2 players right now, but ideally 3 or more, 4, however many you wanted, and then it's given to the judge, and he or she has to figure out what the hell you just did. If it is a successful guess, the jury will agree, and a green button will appear, and you click yes. You're like, all right, you got it. If you click the red button, that means it goes to mistrial, and a game modifier will be rolled, and it'll make the game more difficult. It could be drawing with your left hand. We have an invisible ink. And we have now a limited amount of ink that you need to draw with between rounds. So there's these different things that'll make the game more difficult if you go to a mistrial. Yeah, no, it's kind of the premise.
So I apologize. The rendering is sort of messed up. I don't know what happened when we took it to the actual screen, but on my screen it's sort of rendered properly. But what you can see here in the bottom corner. What we've done is just create like cards that pop up, and so in an ideal world, when we had plenty of development time, we would have the cards represented on like an individual cell phone, right? So it was sort of obscured from the judge player. So in this case, we have our card is Trump President and Arson. So, if we were playing this game on a local laptop, we'd just ask the judge not to look while we're looking at the cards. We'd reveal them, and then we can start a turn. And
all right, so this is an exclusive feature. This was supposed to be DLC.
It worked. Okay, can I just hold my laptop out? It works when I'm not plugged into this thing for some reason. So you can blame me I'm personally responsible.
Well, we can do a demo. You guys can come around when this is all over, and then there's a bunch of artists I would love to see what they could do when this is actually up.
Yeah. I mean, it should just work. I don't know what it is with hooking this up to like it must be some issue with the engine.
Blue screen of death modifier is like unlockable. You weren't supposed to see that. That's like a really high like skill ceiling thing.
So,
yeah. 1440.
Yeah, 1440 by 900.
We're a group of 3. My name's David. I did some of the graphic design, the UI. I did the title menu and some of the icons that are used for the different modifiers.
My name's Emily. I did the different like desktop background textures, so the judge's desks and also the jury desk as well.
I like that revision. It had a fidget spinner on there, just because as a judge you might need to use a fidget spinner.
Yeah, that seems to work better. Yeah.
Okay.
It's changing the format, so I apologize. Their work is not being shown off as well as it should. It may throw an error here. I don't know if it has to do with the resolution. Yeah, it has something to do with the resolution. That I think it's changing the coordinates in some way that's throwing it off. It's held together by 2.
It's not being fair to him either. He did a really good job. He programmed everything by himself.
You guys
so
can
like,
see it if you come around, but ultimately what you can is you can draw, and it's sort of left up to the players to decide how accurate that's being represented or how accurate the judge was in interpreting the drawings.
Yeah.
Well, so you have we have it set for 12 seconds, and if you fail, you get debuffs, So I don't know if you mentioned the ink, but
Yeah.
yeah, you can have a limited number of ink and that sort of thing, and those things can compound over time. So anyway, I apologize that it didn't work, but like I said, it should work when we're not hooked up to this.
Ideally, the more players that we would be adding to the game would divide the draw time, so that way it is the whole jury collaboratively would get the same amount of time, but less between each person. So each person has to do their best to add to the drawing. But right now, yeah, it's set up for 12 seconds for drawing time.
Thanks, guys. Sorry I can't demo it.
Yeah, no
But
worries.
feel free to stop by.
Yeah, thanks. Band-Aid ripped.
Yeah. Here comes Half-Life 3, so...
Thanks. All right. We had a group say that they wanted to go second. Mo, get up here. I can see you hiding behind Brian. Let's go. All right.
Oh snap, we got a
Oh, yeah.
fancy.
Ooh, fancy, smancy stuff right there.
Oh boy. This is in fact a resolution. Wow.
Oh boy. We have probably done this in consideration of what the resolution was going to be like on
hit
this.
the build and then plug it in so I can see the play button.
Too small. It's too small. Okay.
So our game, or just do you want someone else want to play? I can. The
Um,
basic premise: you're a guy named Jerry, and you're too afraid to go on dates. Oh, there's a
yeah.
microphone. You're a guy named Jerry, and you're too afraid to go on dates yourself, so you have to build a robot to go on dates for you. So this is like the building phase we have here. So you can. Oh no, I should have put it on a head. I didn't think about that. Okay.
that works.
No, you can't take it off. So do some of these.
We can just put anything anywhere.
Yeah.
In the initial planning stages, these were all going to have like stats, and they still do have stats like in the background. We just don't have the text for them. And those stats are going to determine whether you. Thank you. Those stats are going to determine whether you pass or fail each test. In this case, we're just going to go through a few tests here. So you don't actually get to control like any. There's no like dialogue options or anything because the robot's just doing it for you.
Yeah, so this is some dialogue. There's some pigeons in the park, which are throughout the rest of the game as well. There are a lot of pigeons.
That was a good result. Tape unrolling is a good result.
Yeah, so this is Duct Chan.
So the idea is that in this weird world, you're kind of like one of the only humans, I guess, because everyone else is just like an anthropomorphic version of like a tool or something. So he's just like insecure about the fact that he's human and he can't like get a date with like any other person. So he's meeting up with all these like random different people. Yeah. And the idea of this date is that, oh, you're romantically feeding pigeons in the park and they're getting stuck to you.
So then, yeah, we have the last date is with like a hammer, like a sexy hammer.
Oh yeah. Top 10.
That's it. So far, she's the most popular.
So far, yeah.
So I don't know if you can read the text from back there, but it says you're starting to get a handle on this, which is the good result.
So the idea is that each of the items that you put onto your body increase your chances of having a more successful date because they just increase your status in like your endurance in the day or your intelligence, your suaveness, your confidence, or anything like that. So the better you get at dates, the more you advance to like the final level, which is like the ideal girl. So
Oh yeah, I don't think we have that
that's
in
in
there.
there,
But
but-
I think we
No,
have
like,
a-
not
So that rubber chicken arm is like it makes you better at being funny, and the jackhammer makes you better at endurance because you can just jump around everywhere.
I can quickly show some of the unused sprites. Actually, I don't know if I have them. They're somewhere.
Sure they are.
We have.
that
This is the kitten girl.
So she's what started this. She started off as a joke, and then it just spiraled into this entire game.
And this is the smart wrench girl.
So these two didn't make it, unfortunately, but we'll probably eventually have to add them in.
This
But-
is only Alpha 1.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's.
That's pretty
Oh,
much the
did we
game.
also did? I did programming and music and sound.
Yes, I was responsible for all the girls. Sorry, guys.
I did some of the sprites and one of the backgrounds and a little bit of the dialogue, maybe. I don't know if any of it
Yeah.
was added.
Yeah, we all kind of contributed
Yeah.
to the dialogue.
I did some of the pixel parts like that go in the robot and some of the dialogue and a little bit of the design.
These superstars here
Oh, yeah.
save the day
Save-
the last minute.
Everybody's work kind of came into it. Oh, why are you hiding?
I know,
Come
like,
out here, Mo!
They're like out in the dark.
Come out of the shadows.
Don't be afraid.
Don't
Your
be-
name is to this.
Don't be the Dark Knight.
There's actually it's funny because Jonah worked extensively on a system that I built, which is.
Do you want him to be on the mic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we recording? Are we live?
Let's do this. It's a little echoey, but that's okay.
no, it's just
Yeah.
echoey.
So what's kind of amazing is that there was a lot of thought put into the characters in the background, and this team they worked really hard on a lot of features that you aren't really noticing. So there's like an entire AI backend for properties like suave, intelligence, and endurance, and all that stuff for every little thing that you put on them. And Jonah spent like hours basically putting in this enormous JSON file and putting in the properties. And Noah and Jonah, sorry, they're brothers. They're amazing. They went in and meticulously put that in, and then in the background, we're actually calculating values which return the sort of responses that you'll get. So every single time you play through, you get a different sort of effect. And it's a pretty robust and complicated system. It almost like made this entire project sync, but it ended up working in the end.
Kinda.
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Good enough.
Kinda. Good enough. You would never know. You'd never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
It's our little secret.
No, you did it.
All the pigeons, this guy.
Oh yeah, those pigeons! Where'd you even find that JPEG?
I just Google searched transparent pigeon
Oh.
.png.
Great.
Yeah, no, yeah,
I
it's
use it all
saved
the
in your
time,
favorites,
yeah.
like a special folder of just pigeons.
Just thinking my time has come.
Yeah, like finally.
Yeah, so that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Peace.
Good. Computer. Yeah, you might want your computer. You guys can have it. Oh, sweet.
Okay, oh, that's great. Do you guys want to go? Awesome. No.
Plugged in and everything.
There you are. Under there. Let's see. Ready? There you go. Yeah. Hey guys, how's it going? We're three guys. We used to be four. Yeah, Jeremy died. Yeah, we lost two of them. So for time immemorial, mankind has asked the question, how do I make the stuff I see around me out of the other stuff I see around me? And with our humble Game Jam game, Rabbit Constructor Plus, we hope to answer that question. Can we get more sound out of the...
Oh, absolutely. Because I figured out how to do the sound effects.
It might be a thing on my laptop too.
Is it not coming out? Aw, dang.
Send it through the HDMI. Oh.
Yeah.
So my ability is
Yeah, here. Yeah, so it's got... Let's see, we'll get this fixed first. No, we got some deep, deep bass in there. You got to get the... And then switch it back to... Switch it back to Epson. And then... Oh, don't like it. I mean, if you got one like just ready to go, but.
He's a man with everything.
Wow.
You'd be shocked.
everything in the other room.
That's impressive. All right.
All right, we can keep going.
Yeah. So our game here. Let's get it back up. There we go. All right. So we have a few different play modes. We have black screen mode with this blinking mouse that. I think right here.
Okay, we'll start.
Yeah, starting
Someone has to hold this end, put their hand up this way. Signal work.
Semaphore. There we go. All right. So we have 3 different play modes right now. There's Zen mode, featuring a wonderful song by John here. So you have these silhouettes of things that you have to fill with other things to fill up the silhouette, and the kitty tracks your progress over there. And Zen mode's just like hanging out, just seeing what you can put where. You can rotate the pieces. It's a shotgun. We all drew different stuff, which is why there's charmingly all over the place art styles. And yeah, that was one of Jeremy's. He did really good stuff.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah. If it looks like clip art, it's probably Brian. It's very good.
I didn't do any of the sprite.
Oh, but you did like UI and stuff. Yeah.
How are you doing the collision?
Huh?
How are you doing the collision? The fish inside of the headphones.
Oh, yeah, Brian, you want to talk about that?
How are we doing what?
The collision.
Oh, we can talk about it. Go ahead. Which particular collisions?
But like the fish inside of the headphones is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I mean it just overlapping pixels.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's actually you can see we have really good physics, which lets you do things like balance fish on
cat on top
yeah.
of Christmas beast.
Which is important because there's gravity on everything.
The cat is named Lorenzo. Not really important, but I want you to know.
You calculate efficiency overlap.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do Tetris mode. So this was kind of the beginning of the idea. This is my song.
Oh my god, the cat in the corner. The cat in the corner is amazing. Oh my god.
I'm very proud of my cat bar.
I want that to be my avatar in everything. The music is great. I remember walking in that song, it's like, I need to hear this with bass.
Yeah. So this mode, it's just like Tetris, only instead of like boring old squares and rectangles, you have
so good
pizza shape with a rhinoceros.
Yeah, this is workable. This is ready for that.
So if you win, you go to the next level, which in this case is Starfish.
I see what you meant by when you said your
What?
I see what you meant when you said your duct tape looked like toilet paper.
Yes. Well, that was another Jeremy that he was drawing duct tape, and then I said, "Oh, cool toilet paper," and then he just changed it to toilet paper because he's a very nice man. So I didn't look stupid. He made it toilet paper, which was good. Oh crap! Oh man.
Wait, what? Oh.
I got the cat out.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
What dictates the win scenario? Like you have to fill it all up with a certain number of
No, it's a certain percentage of the boxes in the yeah.
Okay, right.
And if there is stuff outside the area, that penalizes you.
Okay, yeah.
Mm.
Are objects that drop regularly?
Yes.
Was that just like that scenario, like when everybody's got a bunch of big objects?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll do time mode next. That one's a little bit different of a mechanic.
How much are you charging in the app store for this? Because I'm ready to buy.
Yeah, did you?
$4.99.
Are you going to be releasing a VR version?
Yes, yes.
I'll take 7.
Okay.
Oh my god, the clock over there.
Oh yeah, the clock wasn't supposed to be as bloody, but watercolors get out of hand. All the stuff I did was like marker and like paint, so it.
Wait, you drew this on like actual paper?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
No, just took pictures. Wow. So.
That's awesome.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Robot.
Yes. That's amazing. Collision is awesome.
Yeah, the robot voice is not sure what you made because.
Who did the robot voice?
That was John.
Is
Yeah,
that-
John
is
did
that
all
your
the sound
voice?
effects.
Is that you? You make a good robot. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, so John did sound effects and programming and some of like the button art and stuff you see on the title screen. I did the stuff that looks like it's markers and paints for art in this song, and I did another song that we don't know where to put in the game, but we can show you that afterwards.
DLC.
Yes. And Brian also made some wonderful art like the rhinoceros and the pizza and the... You did the pencil, I believe. Yes. Jeremy is responsible for pistol. It's a cheese-flavored fish-shaped snack cracker. No trademark issues there. Oh man.
Looks insane.
Headphone is one of the hardest and worst shapes, so. I think this is where we die.
Got it. Hot dog and ounce, man. You got this. Got more hot dog.
Yeah, I think you got it.
Yeah, you're so ready.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to show me the song?
It's only
It's on the drive.
Because they're good like Tetris.
I made this victory song that I wanted to share with all of you, and we couldn't figure out where to put in the game, so just gonna play ourselves off. Unless anyone has any questions. Sweet. Oh, that's coming through.
What the hell?
That's fine. This is the Google Drive player.
It chooses where it wants to play.
A lot of cat sounds, yeah.
Okay, cool. I heard a cat. I got game jam, and this isn't the big summer.
Take. Oh, we have so many Purple Monkey Game Jam stickers. Take like all of them.
Wait, what game jam?
The stickers. There are so many stickers.
I didn't see these.
Like we had a surplus of stickers last year. I was able to like construct things out of them. It was almost like their game. It was ridiculous.
Ish, yeah. Yeah, we can. It's probably not super important.
Working version of Austin Christmas, I think, is on top of it.
What is a game jam tradition?
Have you tested mechanisms? That's why I messaged you.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. That's why I messaged you.
Oh, yeah.
Let me make sure this works. Okay, that looks good. All right. Check, check. Mic check. All right. All right. Howdy, y'all.
How's it going?
Hi. So my name's Jason. Been working solo this weekend, so I ended up, well, I went through a bunch of different ideas, ended up with, it doesn't really have a name yet. Maybe I'll take suggestions for names at the end, but I ended up with, so you're stuck on an island, and you have a bunch of these little robots with you. Yeah, they're kind of stupid. They just like walk around, and they gather ore for you. I started with, all I started with was just like an island. I wrote a little terrain generator, so this is all randomly generated. It's procedural. I'll show you when I restart. It'll make a new level each time. But so these little guys will walk around and they'll mine ore, and then down here you can, well, yeah. So you can build a house and you can build more workers. That's all for now. And up here is your total ore. So right now these guys have gathered some. You can see the little numbers on top of them. Yeah, so he's got like 400. Well, we got to do something with this. So I'm going to drop a house down, and now they should start moving towards it. So I say it's kind of an RTS. You can't really control your guys. They just kind of walk around and do whatever. Sometimes they get stuck. Couldn't really figure that bug out in time, but whatever. I think you can just build another house next to them, and then they get unstuck. Not really sure why that's happening, but... Yeah, so now they'll go and they'll walk towards the houses, and when they touch them, they'll drop off all the ore. So now you see I have 600. So I can build more workers with all my delicious ore. So that's kind of the jury rigging theme I got going on. So you're on this island, and you somehow build robots and houses out of like rocks. I'm not really sure how that works, but you know, we figured it out. Don't worry about it. So. I guess right now what it is, it's kind of like a clicker game, because all you really do is you just mine, and you can expand your base, and that's all. But maybe later I'll add in some, I don't know, some like attacking, other attacking robots or something, make it more of a tower defense or something like that. That's all I really got. But I did this all just solo myself, so it was pretty fun. I got to use some tools.
Robots you can put down.
There's none right now, so you can just.
So before it blows up.
Yeah, you could just. There's only one sound effect right now, which is when you get ore. It's really annoying.
He's not even dropping any off.
Oh yeah, he's stuck. That sometimes happens.
I thought that he was dropping off ore and it was causing the sound to glitch out.
No, that's another one. There's dudes.
These guys.
So this is Godot engine. I can show it real quick. I never used it before, but it's pretty fun. It's got like it's got a 3D mode and a 2D mode, but I wanted to start with the 2D mode. Yeah, it's very similar to Unity. It's open source if anyone is interested. Yeah, I just got to play around with this weekend. I never used it before, so it was pretty fun to make this. I don't know. I like little simulation games. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyone have any questions?
Can you do the random generation again?
Oh yeah. So I'll just close it out and then start it again. So now, well, you can't really tell, but the level's different. This curves down towards this way. Let me restart it again. This one curves a little bit longer down here.
That's awesome.
Try once more, see if we can get some interesting features. Sometimes it does interesting things. Sometimes it doesn't. This actually might not be. Oh no, that one's different. Yeah.
It's got a similar starting point.
It does. It's just simplex noise if anyone knows what that is. And I didn't really mess with it. So it's like, yeah, not the best, but a lot of stuff can be added to it. Any other questions? Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks, y'all. Thanks for giving me your time. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to take suggestions. Anyone have any idea for a name? Did I hear something over there?
Lots of rocks.
Progression Quest, lots of rocks.
Rock and Robots.
Rock and Robots. I like that one. Yeah, sweet. Maybe I'll call it something like that. Thank you.
So we need 2 guinea pigs? I like how I waited. Yeah. Man, this thing is... Yeah, all right. So whoever gets up here first. No, everyone can play. Come on. Is this seriously... This is my life now? Ah. All right. Okay.
Is this the new Fortnite?
What's that? The new Fortnite?
It's like Mario Kart. That's a good game.
All right. And the cool thing about the controllers is I don't exactly know which way you're supposed to hold it, so that's the mystery when you get to play. Also, I don't know which player you're going to be, so you're just going to have to know. So those are the kinks that we haven't worked out. Wait, you told them? You cheated? I'm just kidding. All right. Okay, so maybe I should actually talk about the game. All right, so Mike, myself, and someone remote, Colin, we worked on a Mario Kart-like game, and I think we mainly chose that because I had no idea how to do it, and it was either failing or success. So, and I think we got pretty close to success. So, we almost got up to 8 players on 2 different screens. But Unity prevented me from doing that because I don't know how to do multiple screens. But I could switch between them in Unity and I could see it, so that was something. And I actually don't know how many Bluetooth controllers. It's weird hearing myself behind myself. I don't know how many Bluetooth controllers the Mac can take, so I think it's probably a safe bet to only do 4. So let's do it. See what the audio sounds like, or where the audio is. Oh.
And he's off.
You have to believe, or we have to reset. Who's the one who's rotating but not moving? No! Oh my god. So the concept of the game is instead of like Mario Kart where you pick up items to troll other people, this is when you're picking up items to augment your car. And when you fall off, you lose those items.
Okay.
we were also going to implement health. So if you bumped into people, you could knock their items off. If they had no items, you could just diminish their health. But we did not get to that. So.
Clock makes me spin out. And it's bad.
Oh, that's actually just physics that makes you spin out. Because I don't actually know what I'm doing in Unity. And those little checkpoints, I made. That was awesome. Those are there because I don't know how to do a nav mesh correctly with levels like that. So yeah, that's our game. Anyone else want to come up and try it, or?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What are the transparents like?
Those are the checkpoints. That's how I determine who's in first, because I didn't know any other way of doing it. Yeah. So anyone else want to try?
Yeah.
Come on up.
Did what?
Oh yeah. I mean, that was the question that I asked. Okay. So I did all the programming. Mike put together the level. He did all the art. So this fantastic cat is actually his trademark.
I love this cat.
That's a sassy cat. All right. So actually, check this out. So this is really fun. We're using a plugin that every once in a while it just randomly crashes Unity. What's the plugin? Nintendo products.
Good stuff.
See that almost crashed again. That was cool. Keeps you on your toes.
I love the soothing music.
What's that?
What do the green blocks do then?
The green blocks are the speed. They increase your the speed of your car. The blue. Oh my god. I don't even know what's happening. Are you up against like painting? Oh. I'm glad we finally got someone to fall off. And Colin, the one who was remote, did all the sound effects for us. So.
And the music?
And I'm not sure if this is music he had stowed away because he got all this stuff to us within like an hour or two. So, I mean, I know he's a maestro and all, and he's like intense. You should see some of the music he's done, but that was insanely fast.
So fast, yeah.
Like going to a game jam and opening your game up from Steam. Yeah, we made this. Oh, so who died? Like permanently?
Oh no!
That's amazing. You did that too. How did you do it?
Just fall off.
Anyway, that's our game. One more time? All right. What the hell? Let's get some more people up here. Mo's like hiding over there. Come on, Mo. Why are you hiding? You're on. Did you say you're gonna break him? They're that small.
Don't break it. All
right.
Actually.
Let me.
It's the blue block, dude.
That was gonna be for shield, I think. And then the other one was gonna be for like bouncing the player, so that way like you maybe would hurt another player more.
So right now green blocks are primo, like speed.
Yeah, they're the only ones that do anything, and the other ones are just fun to collect.
That's the game. That's
yeah.
Great, get the green blocks, guys.
Oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. No, the other ones totally do stuff.
Don't fall.
I like that like pause after I hit space and like the game's like, am I gonna break or not? Yeah, that's because I don't know what I'm doing. It's not because I made it difficult.
So if you don't tag a checkpoint before crossing it properly to the next, it pulls you back to.
Yeah, so I gave it a little bit of room, so oh no. I made it so that if you skip a checkpoint, you could skip one checkpoint and make it to the next, and it'll be fine.
Oh,
Are you hacking my game? Who died? You died? I'm sorry.
Exploits. This guy's exploits.
Are you wall hacking my game right now? Also, oh jeez. Also, I did not put any screen shake in here, although I probably should have. But how are you getting screen shake on your player? Your camera's like losing it. It's like
Electronics are like really bad.
yeah. I mean, computers were a mistake according to one of my friends, and I trust him. So
One literally said it wasn't like I wanted to.
that's actually and everyone come on out. Everyone was playing. Oh, they're not actually there because that didn't exist. All right, so
Nice.
thank you. Yeah, I didn't actually build brakes. All right, so
I could have sworn I hit a button that made me go in reverse.
yeah, there was a reverse button.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me 1 sec.
You don't want to die permanently?
Yeah. You see the one on the bridge that also just started flying away?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I don't even know how I died. Like, I didn't even know I was going for it.
Yeah, that was just so much to think. It was like, oh, just standing there and I
Yeah, so I'll do this. I mean, I could. So Brian, I broke it. So that's for you.
This is yours.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay.
Oh, I'm also attached to a different thing.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What HDMI?
I thought he'd done it. Just disappear.
You waited for the demo, and you just pieced out. If you had left, I would have kept your switch.
I don't know those controllers, the split controller. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
Okay.
Like,
These are nice.
It's not.
I'm curious how the green one has like the joystick.
Sorry, it kicks me off the Wi-Fi every time
I think they're just they're
Okay.
they're trying to make it look like most.
you slide it.
Right. And then you turn it
So you can actually plug these in.
You know what? I don't care.
Yeah. The same thing is with a left and a right on just regular. It's always like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why it's like
Right on.
it's great for one person and it's super awkward for somebody else to play.
Just like slide it in.
It thinks I don't have sound. Why do you think I don't have sound? There we go. Okay, so there. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
Cool. So we did a web browser-based game because we are way more programmer than artist, and as a team, as a team composition, we're all web developers. So we made a game with JavaScript because that's what we were familiar with and what we thought we could make the progress with. So we chose a pun-based game called Rig That Jury. The theme of the game is, the text is small, so you might not be able to read it, is that your client is guilty and you have a certain amount of blackmail for each, there we go, for each jury member, and your goal is to click through and ask the jurors questions and figure out who you can blackmail to win your client the case. You have only 20 questions and only 3 pieces of blackmail, and you win if you give the correct piece of blackmail to each juror. So you just say start. And then we have fun mood music. We chose a retro style because what we had was like was Microsoft Paint. So
Yes.
we went for kind of fun pixel art. You can ask everybody the same question. But you have to find, based on answering the questions, who you think sells visas by marrying anyone who wants to come to America, and you have to find the right person for that. And if you want to blackmail someone, you have to say what you want to blackmail. So, but if I like stop blackmailing someone with that, I'm allowed to. You can't blackmail someone more than once, so it won't.
But yeah, basically, you know, 3 incriminating things. You gotta like deduce.
Yeah.
Who the incriminating facts are about.
And then once you decide who you want to blackmail, or like.
Get selected as jury.
Yeah, once you've decided the 3 people that you want to blackmail, you can try to blackmail them, and you'll get a guilty or not guilty verdict. You win when you get not guilty, and then you can just start a new game, and it's pretty simple. So right now, the jury pictures and the jury backgrounds are randomized, and each piece of blackmail goes with a specific background. So is like spends 8 hours a day reporting DMCA violations on middle school Twitter accounts. We have someone that's like gonna spoil the game for you a little. If I can find our person.
This game's really hard.
Yeah, we accidentally made it really. Yeah.
A lot of characters. Like,
yeah, so, well, because there's 12.
Jazz hands is fantastic.
So you can also decide not to blackmail someone. Yeah, this is a free game and it's not even up on the internet, so yeah. Sorry, what?
How'd you come up with all the names?
We're just very creative. I was very, very tired. I was
Yeah, we.
Big fan. It was totally not me walking here.
Yeah, there was one Google Doc of weird jurors and weird answers in blackmail that we all took turns editing, and then we took turns in Microsoft Paint drawing all of these characters. So the game is actually made in React. We were originally going to try something called Phaser, which is another JavaScript thing, but Pat here is the only one with Unity experience. I've never done a game jam before. Chris has minimal experience, and we all have JavaScript experience as like web developers. So we were like, we'll just make a JavaScript game in the web browser, and React ended up being the thing that was easiest for us to do that in, just because of like familiarity, basically. So yeah.
That's great.
Can you pronounce Ezekiel's full name?
You wrote that. That's...
Yeah, that's Ezekiel Old Corncob Calhoun.
Yeah. So, and if you reload the game, you will get
I don't know what
you will get different pictures with different names, and
there was a person named Popular Music.
Yeah, you'll get different pictures with different names in different spots. I think the names are currently linked to the background, so like Paulina Smith will always have the same background. So ideally, we would also randomize the names in addition to the backgrounds. We also only have 12 backgrounds right now because that was what we had to have 12 jurors. And ideally, we might, every background has at least 2 pieces of blackmail, so you'd probably have to play for like a while to figure everything out, but it does, like you will hit a point in the game where you're like, okay, I know everything.
Turns out writing is time.
Yeah, doing funny writing is difficult, yeah.
Was that the most time-consuming part of making this?
Honestly, we spent until like noon the first day even deciding to do this, so in terms of time sync...
we had like 8 pitches that we were trying to do.
Yeah, in terms of time sync, like just deciding what to do probably took the longest.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, so you can choose to blackmail her with that. And then if you wanted to question the strangely and specific person.
So, as for what took the longest, we worked pretty parallel. So we all did a bit of everything. We all did some character portraits. We all did some programming and some writing. So, we probably spent about equal amounts of time on.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody like basically every couple of hours we like switched, and somebody else would draw, and somebody else would write, and somebody else would like code, and there was a lot.
I did no coding. I don't understand Git, and therefore coding doesn't work for me.
Yeah. So we'll probably eventually put it on Heroku. It'd be pretty easy to expand just in terms of like more backgrounds and more blackmail, because the basic functionality is up and working right now.
This song's driving me crazy. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
I'm digging it.
Yeah. But expanding any other.
I found law. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Expanding any more
not
like.
Law and Order down sample.
Yeah, made it the last minute. So like we could give it more backgrounds and more blackmail types so that you could play more often, but like any other like expanded game functionality wouldn't happen. But like in terms of assets, we could just add more of those. So yeah.
That's awesome. This is actually the long lost 1994 like Law and Order
Our
tie-in game.
inspiration was like as early as possible and as retro as possible because we knew we weren't doing anything much prettier. So
Technically, our inspiration was you wanted to use a pun for the theme, and I wasn't happy about it.
yeah. So it's the jury rigging game.
Because I like to torture. Like a weekend to spend on it.
So yeah. Any other questions or?
This is great. Thank you. And we have one more.
Yes.
Do you want to stand up?
A little bit of a delay there.
Yes.
With a real Slim Shady.
So, we have a long-standing tradition here at the Game Jam where Putney shows something he's been working on forever and not at a Game Jam. And he almost didn't do it, and I was actually kind of upset, kind of like, you know, going to a family event and you're like kind of sick and tired of something, and then when it doesn't happen, you're like, oh man, I actually really like that. This is that.
Alston Christmas?
Yes, this is Alston Christmas. You're seeing it here first or second, or for the third time, or the fourth time. Okay.
It is actually an annual Game Jam tradition for me to show Alston Christmas, even though its code base and gameplay and has basically not advanced in the least in the last 4 years. Anyway, actually, I had planned on rewriting it. It's a JavaScript-based game, runs on a web browser. I'd actually planned on rewriting it in React and actually got fairly far into this first level in React, and then I decided instead I'd rather make an Enigma machine in React and stopped working on this. So we have to go with this class. I always tell people this is the Duke Nukem Forever of Alston Moving Day simulators, in that we just keep promising someday it will come out. Anyway, so the idea behind this is, does anybody know what Alston Christmas is? Have you all experienced that? Okay, so the idea being is I want to accurately as possible recreate the experience of moving on Alston Christmas Day. I envisioned several levels of the game. I have two that work. This would actually be level 3. Level 1 would be an Oregon Trail style game where you're attempting to rent a rental truck on Alston Christmas. Level 2 would be you're Tetrising your belongings into the back of the moving truck. And then this is the future, level 3. Let's see how loud this is. I want to make sure it's not.
You might want to plug in.
I did.
Okay.
It's dead.
No sound anymore.
Oh, it's going to come out over that spot. We'll see what happens. Anyway, this is the level in which you fit everything into the back of your moving truck, and you've got your Harvard admission letter, and you are driving your U-Haul down Storrow Drive, attempting to not crash into the low-hanging bridges.
Oh my God, that's perfect for that speaker.
And so, this is what you do. When you get good. you well. The bridges start coming at you faster and they're lower. You're rewarded for your success by it being more difficult.
Oh my god!
I've gotten really good at driving it, though. In fact, I'm so good at driving it, I don't even have to touch it. This is actually Stig. This is Stig mode. The cheat code for this is Stig. It allows you to drive in the manner of Stig, and you'll see that eventually it just becomes like it becomes as impossible as driving down actual Storo Drive in a box truck.
Oh my god! No.
Yeah. Well, it's not possible to drive a U-Haul down Storo Drive, so it's accurate.
Light accurate. I got the cheat can't even cook.
This is the next level. You have arrived in Alston. Your moving truck is here. You're unpacking your belongings. As people pass by on the sidewalk, that they will see your various things and that they will steal them and run off with them. And your job is to punch them and get your belongings back. If you punch too many innocent bystanders, the police will show up and you'll be charged with assault. And so you have to. And someone will just eventually randomly steal something. Come on, guys. Oh, here he's got a box. Yes, you got my box back. Oh, you got my shirt. Damn it.
We got here so close to
my laptop.
Like you just watch.
Oh. Crap. Oh. Got my shirt back. Got two of my bongs out there. I hope it does don't get stolen.
Really no one can steal it though.
Eventually, no matter what you do, all of your things will eventually be stolen because it's Alston. And that is Alston Christmas. And please come to the next Game Jam, and you get to see it again.
All right, great. Thanks for everyone. Oh my god, I feel like if I were to make this even. Okay. All right. So thank you for coming to the Game Jam. It was another successful Game Jam. Next time will be the 10th Game Jam. I can't even believe we're at 10. It's kind of insane. We've come a long way from watching YouTube videos in that room. Right, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a real productive Game Jam. And I believe it was maybe the first or second Game Jam that Brian showed us all up and made the coolest game I've ever seen in 2 days because we hadn't actually made anything else. So it was pretty great. So I had a lot of good memories of the Game Jam and definitely had some this year. So I'm glad everyone came. We have an itch.io Game Jam page for people to upload their Game Jams Game Jam games if they would like. So people can play those because I definitely want to play all of them. And, you know, everyone gets to play my game and have it randomly crash on them. So pretty excited about that. If anyone has any questions about this Game Jam, any other Game Jams that I'm going to be hosting, maybe another one this year, I don't know. More Game Jams? Anyone want to next weekend? Tell your friends. Oh, yeah. Tell your friends. Tell them how successful you were without them because they didn't come with you.
Will.
That's right. All right. So that's it. And thanks.
Thank you.
If people would like to see the game that we've done, I just want to make sure their art is appreciated. And it does work.
Yeah, if anyone wants to set up their thing for other people to try, I'm not kicking anybody out right now. So.